Were you at the John Dramani Mahama media encounter on Sunday?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. You weren't invited?
I was invited, but I was in Wa.
Oh, okay.
I was speaking in Wa, and I couldn't attend.
You are still speaking around the world?
I mean, this had been postponed for about 3 times.
Okay.
And I felt embarrassed, so I went on Sunday, came back on Monday.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity of watching?
I watched excerpts.
Okay.
I watched excerpts, I watched excerpts. And there were 2 things that troubled me.
Troubled you?
That troubled me.
Okay.
One, actually, in the program itself.
Okay.
The former president was asked a question about whether he will continue to be father for all. And I was not happy with his answer.
What was the answer and why were you not happy?
Well, he claimed that he had been exercised, which meant that he would not be father for all. Now, the duty of every president is to serve all Ghanaians, irrespective of their party affiliation. That's a cardinal duty of every president. So it is not his choice to be father for all or not father for all. The very position he's seeking to occupy, insists that he has to take care of all the interests of Ghanaians and treat Ghanaians equally, regardless of their party affiliation. That's his obligation. You understand? I understand that he's come under a lot of pressure from party foot soldiers and so on, who say that this time there should be no father for all and so on. And that's what he's responding to. But
let me find out from you.
Yes.
The second part of your submission, that is come under pressure from party people and others about the father for all. Does that suggest that those people hold a definition different from yours when it comes to the tag father for all?
I don't think that's a problem of definition. It's a problem of understanding our system of governance. It's a problem of understanding what the responsibilities of a president are, and so on. A president has to be fair to all, including those who oppose him, including those who wish him ill, and so on. You can't be a president and say that I will not be father for all. What kind of president would you be then? So understand the kind of pressures that he is under. But I think that his response is not appropriate. His response, I think, is bad. And that needs to be reviewed. Look, rather than accepting what party foot soldiers and so on are saying as a means of galvanizing their support and so on, I think some effort needs to be spent on educating party foot soldiers and so on to understand that the president is the president of Ghana. If he becomes president, he will not be president of the NDC. You understand? So I was a bit worried about that. Of course, this is not new. It's been happening over a long period of time, over the last 4 years. Party foot soldiers, even party executives and so on, have been insisting that should they win elections, that posture of former President Mills should be abandoned and so on. They cannot abandon it. If you want the power of government to be entrusted into your hands, if you want to be a president, you have no option to being father for all. It's an imperative. It is an imperative. You have no choice. You understand? So I think that needs to be explained, and they need to review that position.
So, Kwesi, on the issue of father for all, and we'll finish with this, and then we'll get Dr. Kisi on this one. Now, a few of our friends, viewers of the show, have sent some messages on this, and they seem to be saying the same thing. So, I'll start off with our friend Mansa Musa in the UK.
Yes.
Okay. He says, the Mills father for all, either rightly or wrongly, was seen as letting suspected wrongdoers go scot-free or being pardoned. It must be understood in that context. Mahama is right not to signal a message of leniency to wrongdoers when he comes into office. That's Mansa Musa. Then, Gay-hearted Mensa. He says the concept of father for all on that occasion was limited to prosecuting corrupt officials of the past government. The context is the belief that President Mills opted to be lenient with such corrupt officials because he was father for all. JM never meant he would be father for only NDC members when elected. That's Gay-hearted Mensa. Then Makojubuafu in the US. He says, I think that not to be father for all meant prosecute those who had fallen foul of the law that the late Professor Tamils decided against. He was not insinuating to be the father for only the NDC members, but go after the wrongdoers. That's Mark's view on this. And then the award-winning journalist, Pakwesi Asare of Media General. He says, I think the father for all tag was rather for Atta Mills. The fact that he didn't want to necessarily prosecute his political opponents and the need to unite the nation. So I stand to be corrected, but the question I think had to do with whether he will be lenient and hide under the father for all mantra and not want to prosecute his political opponents who do wrong or have been cited for wrongdoing. And his response was that he had exercised himself of that. Okay. Then the final one. It says, I think Kwesi is quoting JM out of context. He linked the answer to whether he will prosecute criminals. Okay.
There's a problem. I think there's an element of unfairness to Professor Mills. Under no circumstance did Professor Mills say that he will not prosecute wrongdoing because he was father for all. Never throughout his presidential life did he say that. And I think that I'm in a position to know. Professor Mills, at every stage, insisted that those who have wronged the country and so on needed to be punished. And he took steps. For example, the Minister for Foreign Affairs then, or Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, who was a very close friend of mine, was sent to court over some rice imports, if you remember.
Yes.
Another friend, Dr. Wereku Brobe, and others had to face the Commission of Inquiry. And thereafter, there were attempts to prosecute them, but the courts would not, tolerate that because they said that the Commission of Inquiry was the equivalent of a high court. So remember all those things. So it was not like Professor Mills had decided that people could get away with wrongdoing, corrupt people should run away and so on. No. The courts frustrated his efforts. The courts did not allow him to have his way. And you see, those who are talking today, they should be very, very careful. Very careful. They should understand that today you have a Supreme Court which is made up of 15 judges. I don't want to say anymore. You have a Supreme Court which is made up of 15 judges. They should understand that over the last 8 years, significant appointments have been made to the Court of Appeal and the High Court and so on. They should understand that, okay? All kinds of interpretations are being given to these appointments. I don't want to repeat them. Whatever it is not easy to walk into a court and get a conviction. Even under normal circumstances, when so many appointments have not been made, the judges have to apply rules, they have to apply law, they have to be minded by the Constitution in making determinations of cases before them. So it is very, very possible that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will become president in 2025 and be frustrated by the judicial, the legal systems we have here, and he won't go anywhere. Look, this is just a matter of fact. When was Dr. Opuni charged before court?
2017.
Is he still not in court?
Yes.
Won't that happen? Is it not possible that that will happen in West under the NDC government? How long has the Jakpa case been in court? You see, so those who think that after winning elections, they're going to have everything easy, and that anybody that they believe has committed a crime can quickly be hauled before court and jailed and so on. They should revise their notes. And they shouldn't blame Professor Mills, for not taking action against wrongdoers. He did take action against wrongdoers. He did a lot against wrongdoers. But he was frustrated by the judicial and legal systems that we have in this country. It was not the result of Father for All. Okay. Indeed, one of the things which is an expression of his Father for All attitude and philosophy is the fact that when he assumed office, there was a certain lacuna, in the appointment of district chief executives and so on. And he said he didn't mind. Let the NPP appointed district chief executive stay in office. That was a clear manifestation of his Father for All policy. You understand? And I applaud that. It's a good policy, it's a good attitude. Listen, the other thing which showed that he actually believed in this Father for All policy and so on was that he continued to maintain relations with people who were in the opposite camp, who had some technical advice to offer and so on. Everybody knows that Mr. Kwame Pinu is a founding member of the New Patriotic Party. Who doesn't know that? And yet, he had access to Professor Mills. You understand? It's a good thing. It is not a bad thing. You understand? It's a good thing for a president to seek to mobilize all the human resources available for national development. It is not a bad thing for a president to look for talent everywhere in order to achieve his objective. So I have no problem at all with the practice and the philosophy of Father for All. What our friends are saying, and many of the people who send these things are our friends, what they are saying, I think is most unfair to the memory of Professor Atta Mills.